Welcome to a video on using a calculator to do basic calculations on fractions. We have two calculators that we recommend for Math 107, and one of them is the TI-84 and the other is the TI-30. And that's the TI-30. It's a lot less expensive. This you can get for about $10 than the TI-84. But you can rent something like this at YVC for nothing. You can check it out in the library. And you can get this for nothing also at the library. You can check this out from the library for nothing also. So you can use either one of those. This one does some other programs that the little cheaper one doesn't do. But just for doing fractions, you can use either calculator. This is a fraction quite easy that you could do quite easily by hand. 5/7 squared means you take 5 over 7 and multiply it by itself, 5 over 7 times 5 over 7. And when you multiply fractions, you should multiply numerators here, and you should multiply denominators, 7 times 7. So 5 times 5, of course, is 25, and 7 times 7 is 49. You also probably know that you can reduce fractions and you can do it beforehand if the numerator and a denominator reduce, which these do not. So this is our final answer by hand. Very simple. To do that on a calculator, however, we'll come over to the TI-84, and this is not as convenient as the TI-30. However, if you go down to Math, click the Math button, and then scroll over to where it says Fractions, you can put in a simple fraction, n over d, like 5 over 7. This u with an n over d is a mixed number. This changes fractions to decimals and back and forth. But if we want to put in 5 over 7, we have to hit that. Again, the math key, which it shows here, then you arrow over to where it says fractions. And now I'm going to select 1. I'll just hit enter. And that puts it in fraction format. So I can push the 5. Then I'm going to down arrow and enter the 7. And then notice the cursor is still flashing in the denominator. So I'm going to push the right arrow key, and that takes it out. Now I'm going to raise that to the second power. This is the squaring function right here. So I hit squared. And now this doesn't have parentheses around the 5 and the 7, but since we used the fraction key to put in 5 over 7 and then we arrowed over, it will now calculate that. You just hit enter and it writes the answer as 25 over 49. Now a little simpler version is the TI-30. To put in 5 over 7, notice it has an n over d right here, numerator over denominator. So if you put 5 and then click the fraction key, 7, it automatically does that. Again, the cursor's in the denominator, so we right arrow over. Now we can hit square and hit enter. And there we get 25 over 49. So I hope you found this video helpful. It's a fairly simple process and pretty easy to work with fractions on a calculator. Okay, see you in the next video.